Let's go. Let's go. Higher and higher. You they fill me up with holy fire. Everybody sing along. Higher.
Hello and welcome back to Common Sense for Relationships. How are you doing? I hope you are having a wonderful time and we're so glad that you have joined us this evening. My name is Anita Batures and I am the host of the Common Sense for Relationships live show, and it's a pleasure to be here with you today. You know, on this show, we bring you valuable information to help you make better decisions in your lives and in your relationships. I'm a relationship coach. I'm a singer, a songwriter, an engineer, wife, mother, and so on. Yes, so I have to add, I've been married for 17 years plus. So a number of the things that we share here are, it's not just based on stuff we know, it's what we have handled, what we have experienced, right? And from that wealth of knowledge and experience we share with you, because we want others to learn and to be better. I am not alone on the show today. First of all, I would like to introduce my darling husband, Kingsley Batures.
Thank you. It's my humble self. I am proudly humble to introduce myself as Kingsley Batures, the husband of one wife. As you can see, she's very female. She's a full-blooded woman. Yeah, exactly. So, yes, like she said, we have been married for 17 years, and I am an entrepreneur. I'm a very studious somebody we like book. So my plan is to have as many degrees as a thermometer will allow me while we are still in this time. Anyway, but on a more serious note, drawing from what she spoke about, we have garnered wealth of experiences over the years, not just ours, but as a professional family life practitioner, licensed family life practitioner. We have had interactions with different people at different stages of their relationship, couples, singles, ladies, guys, different types of relationships. And we bring those wealth of experiences on this show to help you make better decisions for your life and your relationships. So I'm glad to be on the show today, and I look forward to having engaging conversations.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And right next to him, we have Yoma.
Hello. Welcome. My name is Yoma Ugidiama. I am a civil engineer, an interior designer. So they are giving their marital degrees. So let me give my own. I am a wife to be, a mother to be. What else, KJ? A girlfriend to be.
Yeah, a bad guy.
Well, yeah, a girlfriend to be.
It's all part of
Part of
the
the
question. Yes.
a fiancé to be, and so on and so on.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much, Yoma. It's a pleasure having you here today. And finally, KJ.
Yeah, my name is Kingsley KJ, a proud single man, husband to none, boyfriend to none. I'm a licensed single man. I've been single for 30 years. Over 30 years. It's not easy. Beat that. Let me see. But on a more serious note, I work as an HR consultant, a creative director, and I'm also a student. Yeah.
All right. So there you have it. We have wonderful people here. So if you are single, you're represented. If you're married, you're represented. Hey. And we're going to have really interesting conversations today. So please stay tuned. And if you have not yet shared the link, I encourage you to do so now. Share this link to others who need this so they can gain from it as well. And if you have not yet subscribed, I wonder what you're waiting for. So please just go ahead and subscribe. And as we go through, and you will hear correct stuff, remember to like and just send in those hearts, right? Let's know that you are with us and that you are getting value. We love the feedback, and it also helps this channel to grow. Okay, so our topic for today is for now or forever. We're still on the series Lessons from the Past, And we are talking about intentional dating. So intentional dating, really, how you take it, how you approach your dating will determine whether it's just going to be for now or whether it can lead to something that lasts forever. So is it going to be, I date you, now that's it? Or can we actually be so intentional that this progresses into marriage, and not just marriage and get divorced after a few weeks or months, or in some cases days? Yeah, but one that lasts and that you both enjoy and rejoice over. Yes, I think I should say that. Okay, so here we go. And for the backdrop, our character feature for this episode is Isaac. We're just looking through, and so you hear us just drawing lessons from his life. You see, if you don't know who Isaac is Abraham's son, or Isaac was Abraham's son, one of the patriarchs, right? And there was just this wonderful thing. First thing, I want to jump right in. The first interesting thing about Isaac was that his father had to find wife for him. His father had to collaborate with a servant to find a wife for him. Oh, yeah. Gang.
But does that thing still exist? Do fathers still find?
I actually wish it does exist. Right now, it doesn't. No, not like it doesn't, but it's not active. It's not something people do actively right now. But I wish, because if it was happening right now, trust me, a lot of us would be married by now.
Like
I
you.
personally would be married. I would have been married. My mother would have arranged, my mother would have arranged she would have arranged a very lovely lady for like 5 years ago and given to me to get married. So I think because if you live with youngies, especially the guy, but you know why you laughing? If you live with the youngies alone, because we don't have the wealth of knowledge, and it's not like there is this particular time that, or this particular gate that says, oh, when you get this so knowledge, you can now get married. Because there is nothing like that. If you leave us alone, we will stay for God knows. Isaac got married at 40, Abi.
Yeah.
We might stay till 45 before we actually think of getting married. So I feel like the oldies, our fathers, our mentors, should step in. Help us
help
out.
a brother out.
Help a
They
brother.
should
Because
intervene.
They should intervene. When you know that, okay, this guy, it's time for you to get married. Sister, why are you not married?
So I think I have a different opinion.
Yeah, because if you see, this your generation. If some of us step in, that's why they'll be abusing me all over social media. When I step in and I say something, the lady will say, they don't used to do like that again. No, he wants to twist. He wants to twist.
You know that thing that they say that what an elder says sitting down. A child cannot see even if he climbs. Sometimes there's treason in that.
There's treason.
So I think my own opinion is that the process where we moved from our parents finding wives for us to us finding ourselves is progressive. That's what I think. I just think that there needs to be proper prepping and training. Like you said, I do agree that there's wisdom from the elders. But I think that the elders need to train us so we're not babies, right? And then, okay, there's a way my relationship with my mom is. My mom is a part of, like, detailed things that I do. She's behind a lot of things. There are sometimes I'll do things and people will be like, oh, why? I'll just be laughing because, bro, it was my mom. But it's more from a place where she's training me to become, not dumping things on me, right? And then there's also the other side where there are certain things that my mom has advised and she saw certain things a certain way, but I did not agree. And because I was allowed to express and to, to exert myself, right? She's giving the advice and I'm saying, okay, I don't really see this. With time, she saw it the way I was seeing it. So that's the disadvantage of people finding wives, because sometimes your parents can be wrong and it's unfair that you have to bear the consequence of another person's wrong decision. So that's so I feel there should just be a balance.
So that's the bringing it to today.
Together, yes.
So-
Train them, empower them, share the wisdom so that they go and do the finding.
And then,
But something else that is important for them to know is the triggers that should make them get up and go and find. Because, I mean, back then, you could live to 150, 100,
Yes.
100. So, I mean, the guy may have been like, well, I guess I can do this in 3 decades.
In fact,
time,
his
you know?
his father around that time
his
was
father had
probably
him when he was 100.
his
His
father
father
was
at that
about
time was about
140
40. Yeah.
or thereabout. So that means he's 40 at that time should be like our 20 or
Yeah, kind of.
even 18 now. I don't know if you get it.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So the times have changed, and
Yeah.
we need to get with the program.
Yeah.
So yes, as much as we do not support picking a spouse for anybody, but Oga, I support that place where it is that Oga, get up. Okay, I'll give an example. One of my mentors, we had a group of us that were guys, that, and then this guy just gets us together and then just talk. He said something. He said there's an age you get to where there's no time for boyfriend, girlfriend.
Yep.
There's no
Absolutely.
time.
Yep.
At
Yep.
that age, it is, this is me. You like me, I like you, and we get going.
Yeah.
Do you understand me? So at that time, there's no time for boyfriend, girlfriend. And he said, at that time, when you bring two people that are mature together, it is, do you like me? Do I like you? Do we have things that we can work together?
Yeah.
And then we sign across the dotted line and move on.
Yeah.
So he even did it for one of us. One of us that was a friend. We are all friends together. Just bring one person, and then
Let's
just
see how it. I agree.
You'll be going.
I agree.
I agree. What I have to say to that is that for guys, because a lot of guys, for instance, myself, we are sort of a monocausal in our way of thinking.
English.
We-
Bring it down for
Fantasy
those of us
hand
that
looking
went
at
to
him.
night
No, I mean,
night school.
We are just focused, like if we are just focused on
Pa-
one thing.
Single
at a
view,
time.
single view.
You
Yeah.
get. So if why I'm saying this is because that nudge you talked about is very important. If you leave some guys
They're not good
alone, they won't, because
Yeah.
after this,
Yeah.
I'm going to the next phase of my life, career-wise.
Yeah.
I want to be this, I want to be that, I want to be that, and the guy is
they're
just
just
overwhelmed by
chasing.
all of that. And if you don't say, "Hey, guy, Alpha,"
And you know the
Yeah.
sad part about that. There is a help that they can get from their wife. This thing that they're trying to do, they will do it even faster,
Yes.
better,
Yes.
more effectively.
Yes.
Word.
And it's just sad that you're saying that you want to become Dangote first.
but
And so I think they need to. I think the job, PK, that people like you need to do for us, our younger generation, is to really engage men to understand, young men to understand the wealth and the richness in family and love and partnership with a wife, the real role of a wife and the importance of a wife.
So let me say something here. Because you think, okay, what's the purpose? And this is part of being intentional about dating. What's the purpose, right? I can imagine a conversation between Abraham and Isaac where Abraham is like, hey, Isaac, Sarah just died, your mom just died. And I'm 140 plus, right? And I mean, I don't know how long I'm going to live. I mean, since the flood, we've been dying faster, So if I die now, it will just be you and all these servants. And you remember God gave us that promise. I say, yeah, that we're going to, our children will be as many. Yeah, I think we need to start working on that. Our part of that covenant. Do you understand? So, and Isaac must have been like, oh, yeah, that's true. And then another purpose could just be, if I leave now, you will really be alone and you will feel our absence so much more. But if you are married, you have your wife and your children to redirect all that energy to, right?
Yeah.
So these are just things that now inform the purpose, which will inform the kind of person you're going to look for.
So you see what we are saying now is very critical in highlighting what to look for when guys go out dating. And I'm being very specific. You ladies can talk about your ladies. I'm being very specific when guys go out to date. Now, when you go out to date, and if all you are looking for is the statistics, how do we say that? 32, 22, 32. If that's all you are looking for,
Which was
What? You are 29, 25, 22.
By slap back of the head.
please let me talk to the you people here. Let me talk to the people online, guys. You people know what those numbers mean. If the ladies are shaking their heads in the studio, all the ladies in the studio are shaking their heads. Guys, you know what the numbers mean.
Yes, they know.
So let me move on.
Yes,
if,
please. We'll
If
inform
any
these
lady
people
that doesn't
later.
know what the number mean, ask a guy near you. So, but if you go out to date and what you're looking for is just what you're looking at is just the statistics, then you should not be surprised to come back and then you are disturbing all of us when we gist to tell us that she's not bringing anything to the table. But if you are intentional, like Abraham was, to say, hey, I have an empire that I'm building and I know that you need help. You're going to need help. You need help in so many other areas. You seem to have a hand of the business, right? But you're going to need some help. That, in fact, help that you don't even know that you need. Do you understand? Because that's what wives bring. Wives bring that kind of help that sometimes we guys don't even know that we need the help. Is that when we now see the help, we now appreciate it.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So it's something that guys need to understand. So when I go out to date, I'm looking for someone that will be a kind of help that my kind of guy kind of needs. Do you understand? So it's not so it's being very intentional about it. So if you go out and you go out to date, you need to use your tools and find out this kind of babe that is coming. She may have an appealing statistics, but does she have the intellectual statistics that matches mine?
Yeah.
Does she have the emotional statistics that can handle me? I always say that most people see me and they think, he's a very nice guy, he's a very friendly guy. I said I always knew myself that I'm a bouquet of complexities. Oh shit.
Even in expressing the complexity, you had to add bouquet. That just give you an idea. Continue. Yes.
You know, so but knowing myself, I knew that whoever is going to journey with me has to be someone that can demystify these complexities and even help me appreciate the different dimensions of my different expressions. Do you understand? I didn't always know the different things I could be, right? But I needed someone that can understand me, that can read me, that can get me. Do you understand? And I had a number of ladies around me. Do you get? So that's why if we're talking intentional dating, men have got to be intentional. It can't just be about the skirts.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I'll jump in right there to talk about how intentional these people were. So intentional that different people added to this list of who this wife should be. Abraham's one is the covenant. I have a covenant with God, so based on that, this is what I'm looking for. Number one.
It means that they had the same convictions. Number one.
Yes, that has to be there. She has to be from my family and so on, right? She cannot be from Canaan. Why? The covenant said Canaan is going to become your land.
So that also paints. So as you are talking, the thought is just coming to. That also paints that even in the search of who you have to marry, their tribe and nationality matters.
Yes. And in this case, it's tribe and nationality. In some other cases, it's
cultures.
Cultures. Just factor them in.
You have to
Do you
factor
understand?
it in.
The fact is, God is able to find that right person, to help you find that right person.
Sorry to cut in, right? So I'm actually now realizing that there is like a vision of their identity that they had. So everything that they were looking at was what would align with that vision.
Exactly.
So for some people, it might not really be tribe, but there might be something about them
else,
that's so important about their identity
Exactly.
that must be sustained in that union.
Yeah. And still speaking of Abraham.
That's number two. You're
Yeah.
going to number three.
Abraham went to, she must be willing to come here to live. Because the covenant was, I will give you and your descendants this land. Meaning, my son cannot go and marry and go and meet his wife
He
somewhere else.
cannot japa.
Exactly.
She has to be willing to
come
back and journey with him.
Do you understand? Things like that. So and then,
Sorry. It means that if he met a girl whose career aspirations is across the border, and she's no matter how much he likes the girl, and she wants him to follow him to go across the border, you know that marriage is dead on arrival. But you see, that's the problem. A lot of our guys do not have these considerations in their back pocket when they are looking for a wife. Because there are certain things that have to be no.
Yes.
There are certain things that have to be I can manage. Do you understand?
Yeah.
There are certain things that have to be we don't need to have figured it out. We'll find. But when it comes to the things like in his case where it was very clear that hey, this my inheritance is here. So it's not that we'll marry now. The next thing you tell me that we need to go to Canada because it will be a better life for the children. And the guy is saying, Auntie, this is where my inheritance is. We can't go to Canada. And she said, no, if we don't go, the marriage will break. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So sometimes you find out that all of these things that come up in marriage is because some of these intentional things were not done. And I was sharing just before the show, to say that sometimes when we talk like this, it seems as if, oh, you guys are talking as if you had it all together, during your time and you follow the script. No, actually, we didn't have a script. Just like we are giving you a script right now. We didn't have this script. What we had were things that we did back then. And as we look at ourselves and look back, we find out that there's actually a pattern to the things that we're doing without a script. And it's those patterns that we now bring together and say, hey, these were the things we did that helped us get to the place we got. And that's what we are presenting to you. And that's why my wife was saying that the things that we talk about here is not just things that they told us. No, it's the things that we have seen, we have heard, we have handled, we have experienced, we have practiced. And the one that didn't work, we will tell you here that it doesn't work because we don't used to hide mouth on this show. But the ones that work, we'll tell you, hey, this is how it works. And on that basis, men have to be very deliberate about the borders or the boundaries that they will not cross in looking for who to marry.
Oh,
So the servant added his own. The servant's own was, I need to find somebody who is kind. Because this is going to be the madam of our household.
Yeah.
She had better be a nice woman. If not, all the other servants are going to be in trouble. So he had to put the test. Will she be kind enough to speak to a stranger? Will she be kind enough to give me, a stranger, water? Will she be kind enough to water camels, animals? If she can care for animals, she can care for anybody. Do you understand? So, but are people this intentional about what's in it for me? What's in it for what concerns me? The vision, the plan, the purpose, and so on.
Honestly,
KJ, there's something
in
on
my,
your mind.
listening to you guys talk, I'm just trying to put them side by side with what we go through in today's generation. My generation we are very emotional, and it's bad because most of the decisions we make stems up from that, emotions. The time when we should have been deliberate, intentional about the relationship we're in. We all want to be cute. That dating period where you're supposed to ask the tough questions, where you're supposed to know the person, know your purpose, do your purpose align, and all of that. We just want to, be cute for
no spoiler.
be cute for the gram. Keep pushing it cutely till we get into marriage. And when we get into marriage, reality now dawns on us, and we're like, oopsie. We didn't ask the tough questions, and it causes problem, and that's where marriage therapists start making money.
So for me,
Sorry, they can flash my number. So that if it's possible for me to make some money from you, don't
Exactly.
worry. I'll help you fix your marriage. No, I'll help you fix it.
and it works.
Yes.
And it works. Good money, value for money.
Value for money. Thank you.
So
Please
for
go
me,
ahead.
I think that it starts from the values, right? From defining values. Before you even start saying, okay, I want to be intentional about this lady that I met. Do you even know your values? Do you know the things
Do you
that are
know yourself?
important? Do you know yourself?
Exactly.
Do you know what the things that are important to your life? So looking at Isaac, able to recognize that, okay, I have this thing in Canaan, so I cannot leave this land. I have an inheritance. So there was a clear definition. I remember there was a time that we spoke about, I think we were saying something like, you're like, guys, give ladies time, right? And yes, I know there's a part of women being, but also I think that the reason why guys find themselves in that situation is that they've entered into relationships. And it's inside that relationship, they are not even trying to discover the woman. They are still, it's not, hey, I have a girlfriend. Oh my God, who am I? Then inside the relationship, they're not trying to find out who they are, what's important about them. And they're saying, wait for me. Why would you be waiting inside somebody's life? So, like, John, so you can't be waiting. That's why women are saying, what is going on? what are we doing?
The worst,
Right.
the worst is that both
So-
of them try to discover themselves in marriage.
That one is the worst. So that one,
Yes,
that's
I'm
just
serious.
so you see that these divorce rates that we're seeing, there's a reason. It's not a we can figure out why these
Yeah.
things are happening. Because as a man and as a woman, have you sat down to really define yourself, define who you are, your identity, so that when it is now time to select someone or to accept someone, in the case of the woman, you're able to see how this person fits right
doing
in,
it from a
and
place of
then
knowledge.
you're intentional, right? Because you're knowing that, okay, I cannot, for example, I cannot leave Nigeria. So if I meet someone and he's saying, oh, I want to relocate, okay, sorry, I have things in Nigeria based on who I am.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, you see, still in the spirit of being intentional, right? There's something that in family systems engineering, which is part of my practice, there are things that we do. There's something we call the user manual. Now, that user manual is a concise document, carefully thought out over 25 to 30 questions that when you, in order to answer them, they are not yes or no questions. In order to answer them, you have to express yourself. And by the time you are done answering those questions in that user manual, you can have a picture of this is me. So it's very deliberate, it's very defined. You can say, this is me. And in fact, you know, that's another thing that, to point out from that Isaac experience. The servant went with a template and he could find a wife that matches the template without the guy even being there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
That's how clear.
That's how
Clear.
clear
That
it was.
template was.
That template was. Do you understand? So, and that's what that user manual is. It's such a clear template that if you take that template and give it to your friends, even when you are not there, they will say, this is the kind of person that Yoma is. This is the kind of person that KJ is.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of person
that
that
will
KJ
work.
Yes.
will like.
Yeah. Really important.
You have to be deliberate.
But do you know the kind of person that?
Yes, now I can give you that.
This is why.
See,
This is why.
see,
Jojo is so happy. I'm happy
Okay.
for you.
Okay. The next thing I want us to discuss is the place of prayer. You know,
he
because
prayed.
sometimes people do as if this prayer thing, and then other times people do as if everything is
Only
prayer
prayer,
only.
yes.
But
There has to be the
there is a balance.
balance.
Okay.
Balance.
Yes.
So this prayer started from Abraham when he was telling him, but the angel of the God whom I serve will go ahead of you, right? That was the first part. Then when the guy himself got there, now prayed to the God of his master, please help me in this assignment, right? And you know what happened? After he prayed and, you know, God started answering his prayer very quickly, he now watched. He was watching to see, as in, is this really it? Do you understand? So you know this thing we say, watch and pray. It's real, though. Watch and pray is real. Watch and pray. So how are people handling
So me,
this
I-
prayer part when it comes to finding?
I'm getting into my question part.
Okay.
So me, I'm gonna ask a question.
Okay, go ahead.
You know, in that story, when the servant got there, he prayed, and when he was praying, he gave like should I call it a criteria, where he was like, if the lady does this, and this,
Yeah.
is it okay to do that now? Like, is it okay if I do that now?
Okay.
Can we do it?
So you see that concept, it's called throwing a fleece.
Okay.
Right? There are different people that have done it at different times. In the Bible, Gideon is notable for having done it.
Yeah.
Right? Where he would put something and say, if water is on top of
Yeah.
this place, let it be this. If I put it outside
Very
and water does not
simplistic,
yeah, so it's
arrangement, yeah.
simplistic, right? And to be honest, it works sometimes, it doesn't work sometimes. Now, in this particular setting, it worked because there was a divine backing with it. There's a divine backing. Don't forget, the guy did not go on his own.
Yes, he was
He
sent.
went on a scent on the
Say
my
it.
friend, some people that I work with say, if I be a man of God, he went on the power of the
Of the
sending.
man of God, yeah.
So there was already a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
with a divine authority with the person that sent him.
Yes.
So the person would have been the one to
That's
go.
a sermon.
Do you understand? The person would have been the one to go, but the person cannot go because his legs will not take him.
Yeah.
So he sent the man. And because of the divine backing that the person had, the man cannot fail. Especially if the man has a reliance on the same authority that
Yeah.
the person that sent him is sending.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So that's why in his case, the fleece worked. But to now say you don't have any divine backing, you don't have any divine backing.
You just wake up and
you
be
now
saying-
wake up and say, the girl, any girl will buy me food today, that's my wife. and then you now go out and you say, buy me gala now, buy me this one. And then this sister, out of thinking that you are hungry,
Out of general kindness.
buys you gala. You now come and be disturbing all of us that have seen the woman that I'm going to marry. It doesn't work like that. That's why I'm saying that there is a balance.
Okay.
Right? There is a balance, and you have to follow it.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So that's on one side. The other side is not to take away from the fact that we are never alone in this whole journey of marital success. There is the place of there's a divine enablement that allows you to see clearly in the time of your choosing.
So you have to leverage it.
Yes, so you have to leverage it, and that's what prayer does,
Yes.
to let you to see clearly. But in seeing clearly, you must take steps. That's why I say there's the place of the
Yes.
balance.
Balance.
So it's not praying always and then you pray finish and say I did not see the man. And it's not running around throwing this thing and fleece and say I did not see the woman. No, it's the place of the balance. You must and the balance comes in something that my wife said. She said he watched, he prayed, and
then
then
he
watched.
watched.
So you must
Yes.
watch
Watch to
and
see.
pray.
And then
So
if-
when you pray, you must check the details of my prayer. Are they getting
Yeah. And that watching is like saying, okay, I prayed, Lord, I need a wife, this, all of that, right? But then when somebody comes, that watching is okay. I know that what I
Based on
discussed with
what I
God is
prayed,
we
yes.
need this kind of woman for this our journey, this purpose, this destiny. This is the kind of person we need. And then you now start watching, okay, does she match? She matches.
She matches
Okay,
number
she
one.
checks out here. She even has this other one too. Wow. Do you understand?
So that
Wait,
means-
there's nothing.
It's very
How will you
deliberate.
know?
Yeah, so that means there has to be an engagement in prayer.
Yes.
If you're going to have to, you're picking someone because you need divine guidance. And then there also has to be a reference of what you prayed when you now meet people.
Yes.
There has to be the two. That's interesting.
That's really true.
So so that's
And I
important.
also want to answer something.
Yes, please.
I want to answer a question that somebody has not asked, but I think somebody will ask me.
Okay.
And that question.
I'm thinking it's the question I want to ask.
Okay.
Please ask it. Say it. Let me see if it's the
Okay,
question.
so the question I want to answer is when somebody said, does it mean that without prayer we cannot find the right person? Do you understand? Does it mean that without prayer we cannot find the right person? No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Whether you like to admit it or not, there is a bit of God inside all of us.
All of us, yeah.
Sure.
And that alone means that all of us have some divine consciousness that we may or may not take advantage of. Sometimes you may not be a powerful Christian, but sometimes there's just something that makes you know that this is what I need to do, and then you move and do it. How do you know? Do you understand?
And
So
some people will call it an inkling.
An
some people will
inkling.
call it an impression.
An impression.
Some people will say something told me.
Yes.
Some people, just different things. Now some people have trained that something
Something.
told me. They have mastered responding to those small nudges, and every time they're right.
yeah.
Do you understand? But they won't
Yes.
come and tell you, I prayed. And then,
Yes.
but who's that nudging? Who is that nudging? Because when somebody created you, he has a plan for your life. By default, he's going to be guiding.
Guiding.
But you might decide not to listen.
Yes, yes.
And again, I feel like the whole prayer thing shouldn't start when you're about to look for a wife.
No,
Oh, nah.
That's
No, nah.
because that's
then,
the problem.
That's
in
the problem.
It's when people get to the junction of it's time to get married, they're like, Father, show me the one. Speak to me loud and clear.
Then you hear a voice. You won't know if it's
Am
your
I right?
neighbor
Yes,
that is
your neighbor.
speaking
That's
loudly.
exactly.
Because you're not familiar. You're not familiar with God's
Yeah.
voice. So I feel like so while certain so there's this thing I discovered, right? Some people will get it right. Things will just happen for them by just they're not really praying, but it's just happening. But the challenge with not praying is that you might not be that lucky somebody. So one way to ensure that your own would work is that you pray and you allow God to be involved in it. So you don't have there's no chance of, okay, let me just do it naturally. There are people that have done it naturally, they did not pray and they entered inside one chance. So to avoid one chance, one sure way is to go with divine
Yeah. Now
guidance.
the thing is, now some people are raised with principles.
Yes.
Principles that help them choose the right friends, even when they're in primary
Oh,
school and
yeah.
secondary school. Do you understand? Over time, they've learned those principles and they apply it by default when it's time to choose a life partner.
Yeah, and it works.
And they may not need to pray. They will still
Yeah.
settle
Yeah.
with somebody
Right.
that they are happy with. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now, some people don't know the principles.
Yes.
But in prayer, the Holy Spirit guides you
Yes.
to apply those
Yes.
principles
Yeah.
that you did not learn.
No,
Connects
yeah.
you with somebody that will teach you, helps you to link up with a mentor, or find the right book that has that information. Do you understand? So prayer is kind of like a setup so that you will have what you need to be able to decide well.
Yeah.
So if you don't have principles, or you're not sure whether the principles you have are the correct one for this assignment, please go and pray.
Let's just pray.
Add prayer. Deploy all your arsenal.
add prayer.
principles, add experience.
Yes.
Add advice.
Add everything.
Add prayer.
Add counselors.
Add counselors. Yes.
Add counselors. Because the reason why I went a bit soft on the prayer one is because unfortunately, especially for us Christians, prayer has become a tool that allows us to get lazy about the reality
Yes.
of applying
Absolutely.
the principles that God has set for
That's
us.
that's why the Bible says, "My people perish." They are His people, but they don't know
perish.
shit.
Yeah, it's still perish.
I'm sorry.
Understand?
I'm so sorry.
It's fine. We need to be able to boldly say it that yes, we are prayer people, but yes, we walk. Yeah, because even I know people of different faith watch this, and in your own faith and your own religion, you will find people that express the principles of God. And Jesus was one of those people. And he says, I walk while it is day. For night cometh when no man can walk.
walk, yeah.
So he prays in the night when you're not seeing him, because we hear that as his custom was, Luke chapter 4, and I think chapter 11 too was there. There are different places where he says, as his custom was, a great while before dawn, he gets up to pray. But as his custom was also, he went from place to place during the day. He is walking, he's doing different things, and he tells us that his own principle is, I walk while it is day, for night is coming when no man can walk. So he tells us that, hey, there's a place of prayer, but hey, during the day when it's time, get to work. So if you are intentional about finding the person that will journey with you, pray in the night or walk in the day.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So it means that have your time of divine communication, but also have your time of strategic applications. That sounded
Thank
good.
you very much.
That was the word. That was word.
Okay, I want to go to something interesting. This money matter. Because you people, sometimes guys like to flash the money. And sometimes they flash this money a little too early. So what I saw in this place is that this guy established some foundational things first before he started flashing money. Right? So, what are your thoughts on it? Because he established that first she's kind, she cares for human beings as well as animals, right? She's beautiful, she's a virgin, she's from the right family. A number of the key things have checked out before he now started bringing out nose ring,
gold,
And then
trinkets.
it was after family consent, he now brought out the rest.
Rest.
But she would have been able to decode from the convoy of camels, right?
Yeah.
There were 10 camels.
Yeah.
She would have been able to decode that, yes, there's wealth here. But to the extent, she wouldn't have
didn't
known
know, yeah.
until he started opening some chests, right? So, you
She
people,
hit jackpot.
because my challenge with this is that a lot of young men lead with the money because they're
Yeah.
trying to get her to say yes quickly.
Yeah.
But for the rest of their lives, they will never know. Does she love me
Whether she
for
really
me
loves
or
you.
for my
Yes,
money?
Yes.
You see, the
KJ,
problem
what's
is, KJ, what?
We're talking. We're waiting
Problem
for
is-
you.
The problem is my brothers, my fellow brothers in the faith. We really have a lot of things to learn, and I feel like often than not, these things we do them out of insecurity.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
I'm sorry. It's not like I'm trying to throw us under the bus, but it is what it is. I feel we do it out of insecurity, to try and make the girl, to force the like, make the girl, like me and all that. That ego thing is speaking, so you bring out the rubber first, See, I can take care of you. You understand? How much will it take? At the end of the day, you just discover that you're shooting yourself in the leg. Because even if it goes well, and you end up getting married to this person, and in the marriage,
Things go south.
the tata for Yanya dries up. What happens to you? You understand?
What happens to you is that you tell, I didn't sign up
Sign
for
I
up
this.
didn't
for
sign up for
this.
this. Exactly. I'm not used to this kind of. This is not what you prepared me for. What I go? Where's the money? Where's the car?
For me, I feel like even when there's money, there should always be an avenue to really, as a man, know for real if someone is with you for you. I don't know, PK. Is there? What if you were to write a manuscript on? Because I've seen wealthy guys who are single, and the problem, maybe they started by throwing money. And then people now hurt them. They now went to the other end. You know how human beings are. So they are now being, anytime they see women, and that thing gets me really upset. When you see a guy who is wealthy, right? And you're genuinely attracted to him. And then you're trying to get close to him, but you're seeing that he's giving you this vibe of, please don't come to me for my money. It's so annoying. Like, bro, do you know who I am? Right? So I think that those guys, they were probably hurt because they threw money ahead and then they found out that those women that they got were there because of the money, right? So my question is, what's the help? What's the system that people that are quite affluent and they're looking for a wife, but they don't want the woman to be there for the money? Because even when you have money, even when nothing goes wrong with the money, when you get married, you need the woman to show up. If she's there for you, even if you have money, there are things that you need. If she's there for you, she will be able to show up for those things. But if it's the money that she came for, it's only the money she just focus on. And then when you really need her, right? For example, let's say your mom is ill. Okay, there's money, there's a lot of money, but your mom has to come to the house. And you need someone that's going to wash your mom, clean your mom.
Yeah.
And this woman came here because you had money. How do you get that kind of woman to do all of that? That's when so the money is still there, it has not gone. But you're now seeing things that you really need your partner for. And she's not there for those things because she came. So my question is, how can these men be helped to select women that are not here because I am doing comfortably, but they are here for me?
I think KJ has a thought.
It's not. I want to add to this. So
I thought you were trying to bring me out.
I want to line it up because this thing she's saying is a pandemic among men. You get so this is my thought. There is a boy in every man. I think there's a boy in every man, and it takes experience, it takes learning, it takes knowledge for that man to outgrow the boy thing in him. So this is why I really want you to talk on these things, because like I said, there is a boy in every man. I was speaking to one of my friends. This is just an instance, this is an example to a number of us, including myself. Okay, when he was broke, he fell in love with a girl and he thought everything was going well. The girl loved him for who he was, and then all of a sudden he introduced the girl to his friend who was doing well for himself, and somehow, long story short, the girl left him and went
Whoa.
to
His
his friend
Okay.
who had, the rabbi
Was doing well at that
was
time.
doing well.
Is this a real story?
Yes, real story.
Wow.
And it hurt him And because of that, it propelled him to say, see this money.
We must make
I
it.
will make it. And he made the money. So now the problem is that he has the money, but he's putting a price tag on every woman. So any lady that comes to him, he sees them as, okay, this one is coming from how much? Do you understand? And I'm saying this, it's a pandemic, including my. It took me strength to outgrow that, to tell myself that, listen, not every girl has a price tag. So even right now, I spoke to him recently and I was like, see, you've not met the lady that has the money. This money you think you have, that is really not concerned about the money. So I'm trying to paint the picture, what Yoma said. So you help us outgrow that boy tendency that's in us.
Okay, so I would look at it this way. It's the kind of bait that you throw out that will determine the kind of fish that you will catch.
Okay.
So if you are trying to bait a fish, and the kind of bait that you're using to attract the fish is the kind that the fish is attracted to wealth, to money. If you are going to throw a bait and you throw food, it's not going to come. What is going to come is the fish that is attracted to food. If the fish is attracted to good character, that's what you're going to throw out, isn't it? But if you are throwing out money, you will attract the fish that is attracted to money. So if what you are looking for is not someone that is attracted to you because of money, then when you are baiting, you cannot use money as your tool. Do you understand me? Okay, so what then should you do? It means that we have to step back a bit, because in the midst of the journey of every man, we have things we call acquired dysfunctions. We have acquired dysfunctions. Things that happen to us that shouldn't have happened, but it happened. But then they become part of our formative process. And then some of them, we even have adopted them as this is the right thing. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So it means that when we get to the point where we now have to make major life decisions, we have to be able to review who is making the choices. Is it Kingsley Bature, the real Kingsley Bature, or is it the conditioned Kingsley Bature? Do you understand? So it means that we have to now look at it. So if he's really interested in marrying, in getting married, then he needs to step away from whoever this is and then come back to who I really am. Who are you really? And that comes back to the place where I'll give you an example. We've spoken about it because I still want to stay in line with the context that we're painting about intentional dating. Who are you really? What's your vision as a man? Right? Where do you want to go? What kind of family do you want to build? What kind of family do you want to have? What's the vision for that family? What's the vision for that family? What is the DNA of that family? When I say DNA, I mean what makes this family tick? This family that I want to build. Because right now, he has money, we have all this. Put all of those things away. Those things are things we have acquired. We have to come back to you. Who are you inherently? Because it is that person that is going to marry, not the acquisitions that are going to marry. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So we have to undress a lot of these dysfunctions that we have acquired over the years to get to the real person and educate the person to look for another real person.
Okay, that's deep. So I'm hearing that. So from what you're saying, I'm now remembering that there are some people, there's some single men, in my journey that I've met that everything about them was their money. It was so frustrating. Like, I get it, you're doing well. That's nice. Okay, lovely. Okay, can we now move? But everything, and it almost felt like if you take away the money,
There are no
There's
ones.
nothing.
Yeah.
There's
And
nothing left.
so I don't know what happened to them that, like this guy that KJ was talking about, maybe some form of damage or
that's-
something
that's
that
dysfunction.
they are now.
It has happened to a lot of us.
Yeah,
That's
they are
dysfunction.
now weighing themselves and measuring their value on money.
Money.
And after money, nothing matters.
So you see, that's why I said there has to be undressing, and I share this portion of my story every now and then when I go to talk to men, and I said I think sometimes you may need to do it to yourself, because if God does it to you, if you know really nice, or if you know really sweet, do you understand? Because the truth is, a lot of us men, we have to have that cave, that place where we can take off all the dressings and be real with ourselves.
Yeah.
Take off all the dressings, take off all the clothing, take off whatever, take off the acquisitions, take off the awards, take off the applause, take off the shame, take off the pain, and say, this is me. And that has to happen for every man before you can actually find the kind of woman that you need. Otherwise, you will be looking for women that are part of your dressing rather than part of your reality.
And the fact is that there's somebody somewhere who will love that you.
That's you.
That call
That's
you.
you. That's
That's the one that can journey with you.
Do you understand? And I think one skill that people need to have is to make people come to you because of that call you, not your shell. If I want to flip this, for me, that's why I was wearing one size bigger in uni. Do you understand?
Excuse me. That's two size. It's not one size.
Do you understand?
As in her shape.
Because-
Her shape, you can't see shape. We
So that was
for a
my-
lot.
that
You
was-
need to see, you need
that
to have
was
an
my
extra
intention.
You need to have an extra eye. We're gonna look for school. You just know, okay, she has a comely attitude, she has a but you know this one they are looking for shape, they're looking for to see what is in the package.
Okay,
You
I
can
have
see
a
there.
question. I have a question. I'm sorry, but like, what did you see? So, I'm wondering, what did you see?
Let her finish saying what
Yeah,
she
because I didn't want anybody to follow me because she has a wonderful figure, she did it. I did, because that's container, that's package. It will change with time. When you're pregnant, it will change. After the children, it will change. With age, it will change. So if the person came to me because of that shell, and these changes are happening, imagine my anxiety through the period of the changes. So wisdom will make you know that's in your future. So find somebody that loves what is inside, right? So that regardless of what is happening outside, you know this person still loves you. So I covered the shell. As in, I covered the shell, and you know what? That covering the shell got rid of a lot of distractions. A lot of people that would have come to say one thing here. There was nothing to attract them now. The person who was attracted to the core. That's why today, whether it's swollen nose, whether it's pregnancy, whether you're wobbling like whatever it is,
Yeah, man, sir.
there's that. Do you understand? There's that assurance. So the first time I wore a skirt that was kind of short. This is after we started going out, right?
Yeah.
I finished uni, all of that. He's drawn to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
I
then
can
you
wear short.
Yeah.
It's one
He
skirt,
was like-
it's one skirt suit like that.
I cannot
We didn't
forget
get rid of that skirt suit until I mean that skirt suit was part of it was one skirt as in and we were going for Razi's brother's wedding. I think it was
yeah.
Razi's brother's wedding. And I just saw her walking down with that, like, Jesus, see leg.
This is what is going on.
Because the leg was in high school.
But we're laughing, right? But you know that this is a beautiful story.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Like, if everybody can really fall in love like this, I think marriages will last longer. Or marriages will last forever, right?
So moral of the story, please show your true self, and don't bring appendages that will make you always be wondering. If I remove, just imagine Superman without his cape, and then maybe he's saying, "Oh, I don't want." They might not like Clark Kent. Do you understand? It's Superman that they are going to fall in love with. So every time he's going around with his cape everywhere. What? When you are going to sleep, will the cape be on? Do you understand? You need to be able to be real, because truly, when you get married, this person is going to see
Everything.
The person will be there when you
and
mess.
that's the
Very correct.
and that's the problem, because after you have done all the decking and
Yeah.
you now enter the house and this person sees you in your lowest.
Yes.
That's why some people get disgusted after they got married. Because now they see you, all the glory, external, all those extra is gone. Now I see you for who you are. And all of a sudden it feels like you're deceiving me. Oh, you were pretending. Oh, this is not the person I married. Oh, because
But
they
it's
always
true.
had the
Yes,
decking
it's true. It's
on.
not the person you marry. It's not a lie. Because you two, what you married was a dressing.
Yes.
You get so that's the balance. So for the guys, you always also look. So just as you are not you're removing you are being real. Also look for people
Who
that
are real.
Are real.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I can show you how these things are done, but you have to come to my master class.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. So I think that's where we're going to wrap it up for today. I mean, this has really been interesting, engaging. We could go on, but we have to stop here for today. So I would like to thank everyone for your contributions, the questions, the experiences you've shared, and thank the team who's doing all the work behind the scenes. Thank you so much for your service, and then for everyone who joined us and has stayed with us through. Thank you so much for listening and for participating and for all your comments so far. Please remember to share this, because there's so much value in this. This will help someone. This will open someone's eyes. And you know, knowledge is power. So share that power. And remember, like we always say on CSFR, common sense is not so common. Bye.
Bye.
Let's go. Let's go.